Hi there, my name is Pastor Greg, and we're studying the Christian characteristic of efficiency all this week. We're working through a book called The Disciples' Journal, and this the topic for this week is efficiency. We've looked at a few examples of efficiency, but there's one that really kind of stands out to me, and I wanted to share this one last, because this is a personal struggle of mine. I'm not sure how you feel about following Christ, but I tell you the truth, it would be a whole lot easier if he just spelled out what he wants us to do, or what he wants us to say, or where he wants us to go. I mean, why does Jesus only ever reveal the next step and not the whole journey? And speaking about the Holy Spirit, the prophet Isaiah says, your own ears will hear him right behind you. Right behind you, a voice will say, this is the way you should go, whether to the left or to the right. Isaiah 30:21. And so the Spirit guides us on our journey rather than mapping out the journey before us. It just doesn't seem very efficient, does it? I don't know, maybe I feel that way because my understanding of efficiency is limited to physical effort or time management. Maybe God's idea of efficiency is related to my ability to follow his leading in my life, not learn to navigate my life on my own, rather to follow the Lord's leading in my life. So let's talk about this a little bit more today on Transforming the World. Again, I'm Pastor Greg, and I'll be back in just a moment. You know, one of the challenges in my life is to stop trying to do ministry with my own wisdom and my own understanding, and instead learn to follow the Lord. And if I could just learn to begin there, following the Lord's leading, I probably would not be wasting so much time. I mean, I wouldn't have to reach the point of frustration in my ministry and finally turn to the Lord and say, okay, you figure it out. Because I didn't begin with, Lord, what would you have me do? I waste so much time speculating or trying and failing. And if only I could learn, learn to listen at the very beginning of my ministry, listening to the Lord's leading at the beginning of my ministry, things would be so much more efficient. I really need to learn the lesson from Luke chapter 5. I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're here with me or not. But for myself, I need to learn this lesson, the lesson that is taught in Luke chapter 5. See, Peter and his crew had been fishing all night. But then Jesus comes along and he tells them where to drop their nets. And Peter listens, and of course the catch is enormous. And what really stands out there is Peter listened to Jesus, and his work was much more efficient. Luke 5, verse 7. I am convinced that the Lord only reveals our journey one step at a time because he desires that we learn to depend on him. And the more that we learn to depend on Jesus to guide us in our ministries, the greater our efficiency. I need to go back to Luke chapter 5. And Jesus said, here's where I want you to drop the net. Peter tried to do fishing all night long on his own, caught nothing. And I could really identify with that. I minister and I minister. I teach and I teach. I do video after video after video. And, where's the fruit? Where's the benefit? Who's being blessed? And, every now and then I just want to bang my head against the wall. Lord, this all seems so fruitless. And so, you go back and you start all over again. And finally you reach the point and say, okay, Lord, what would you have me do? Why can't I ever learn to start there? But see, if God had revealed the entire path before me, if God had shown me the entire journey, or every step I needed to take along the way in my ministry, I probably would not learn to go to him and say, what would you have me do next? I think that's where we need to be at least that's where I need to be in my Christian journey. Lord, where would you have me drop my net? What would you have me do next? And learn to listen to the Lord's leading and guiding in my life, and maybe in yours. Next week, we are going to examine the topic of discretion on transforming the world. I hope you can join us then. You've been watching Transforming the World here. My name is Pastor Greg. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you again on Monday.